Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimCity 4 Part 8. My name is SmileyMK93, and we are finally, after a very long absence, back at Watermouth. Yes, I know it has been a while since the last update, sorry about that. Just life and other things have got in the way over the past long time. So, let's review what we did last time. We built some farmland last time, we did a lot of detailing on camera just to show you guys, and in this, as I just delete a glitchy house, and in this video we're going to look to make some preparations for the grass airstrip, which we're going to build at some point in the future, and some other things. But before we build the grass airstrip, you'll know, no doubt, that a new NAM was released quite recently, NAM 37, and the new NAM has flexible turn lane pieces. So one thing I want to do in this video is change all of the turn lanes up and bring them up to modern standards. So let's just put down a couple of transitions. So if you're not familiar with flex turn lanes, you just drag the road through, like place the transition pieces and drag the road through like that, and as you can see we have that turn lane without, and you'll notice it doesn't have the nasty white pavement pieces. Another thing that is in the new NAM is wide curves for is what you just saw there, draggable curves for the SAM, which is very useful indeed. So we're just going to go through and convert all of our street curves to wide curves for added realism. In the process, I just need to fill in a couple of the lots. I hope this is the right one. No, it isn't. Just going through the lots here. Yeah, it seems like the diagonal soybeans lot that I made is not in lot pot for some reason, so we just have to go in the parks menu and scroll through the whole thing and try and find it. Also, it seems like I don't have a diagonal half lot, which would be very useful here. We'll just have to make that in lot editor afterwards. Not getting my lots right here. Here you go. So I need to go. Probably need to go into a reader and add some L text files. So it's just so we can get it right. Sorry, just so I know which lot is which, because I haven't done that yet. Just looking for a half diagonal lot, but obviously I don't have that at the moment, so I just have to, so that'll be a job for me in lot editor. So for now we're just going to put a half piece down. I'm not going to do, obviously there's a few details to fill in, like the fences and the bushes, but I'm going to do that off camera, because I remember spending a long time in the last part of this series doing all the detailing, and let's be honest, I probably bored you all to death, so I'm not going to do any of the finer detailing off camera. Okay, we'll just do that curve and that curve. That can stay as it is. Get rid of the palm trees, which is really quite annoying. I swear I have a mod installed to not have those palm trees, but I know there definitely is one. So I have to we just have to have a little check off camera to see if that is the case. Let me just pop this somewhere to make sure I've got it the right way around. Which I don't, because I have the wrong lot. And that's the wrong way around. It just needs to face to the west. Okay, that I know there is a 7.5 meter level 1 railway now, but I'm going to keep that underpass that you just saw there as it is, because I quite like the look of it. So that transformer there is going to cause a couple of problems for the smooth curves. The problem here is there's one tile too many, but as it turns out, that works well enough, so we're just going to keep it. Just going to need to smoothen out a few of these slopes now, even for a road, even for a little used rural road like this. The slopes can be a bit steeper, but only to an extent. And it's very frustrating when you accidentally delete some trees because the mouse ends up in the wrong play, because the cursor doesn't move to your mouse sometimes, particularly with MMPs. Now, what are we going to do here with this transformer? Because it's blocking us from building a smooth curve, because the bottom right tile is where we would click to build a smooth curve. So we're just going to have to get rid of this transformer. You'll notice I've put the game in pause, because that transformer is actually providing all of our power. So I could move the street one tile back, of course, towards the motorway, but then that would require quite a lot of work. I'd have to extend the farmland to the north. I'd have to rebuild all my trees, and that really is just too much effort, or more effort than it's worth. So let's just have a look at some possible substations we can use. This is not quite sure what the point of this lot is. It's meant to go next to power lines, I think, power cable pylons. Sorry, I think to allow them to go down to simulate power going into the ground. But what does it do? It surely shouldn't be in the middle of the lot. Surely, of the pole. Surely it should be next to the pole, something like that. So we're just gonna plop down a couple of these 3x1 transformers instead, and that should work a bit better. Would perhaps help if I got the orientation right, of course. Now we just need to extend that power pylon on the bottom, in the middle there, to the next tile, just to simulate it. We'll just pretend the power cables run underground. Oh no, oh no, no. My mouse is being really bad today. It's like interpreting single clicks as double clicks. And that's me just flattening that tile there for the middle pylon, because I really don't like the foundation on the pylons. So yeah, that's that done. There's going to be a lot of detail to replace there off camera, but we'll get to that. And another thing I've been doing off camera is bringing our railway line up to modern standards. So you can see there that the single track freight line, which used to branch off right next to the Parkway station, now branches off nearer the town. I just think that gives it a much more realistic appearance. And we're just going to have to do something about this curve. There's not enough room, so we're going to need to make some room, and that unfortunately means rebuilding the whole diagonal. Mouse just being daft again. But there we go. Oh no. Now, yep, that's how it was before. Brilliant. So another thing I've been doing off camera is some custom railway signals. You can see, I've built some custom signs. So we're trying to demolish the old transit-enabled signals. But as you can see, the bridge, the motorway bridge, has gone pretty catastrophically wrong. So let's just try and fix it with hopefully placing a starter piece somewhere should do the job. Okay, yeah, it's obviously gone completely wrong for some reason. I've just accidentally demolished the curve to the FAR, which is very annoying indeed. So we're going to have to try and rebuild this bridge. Doesn't seem to be working for some reason. Just trying to create some space for the flex height transitions. Okay, so those need to be. So we need to make some 15-meter abutments. Okay, I'm just using railway, but that seems to have dragged it up rather annoyingly. So we're not going to do that. Okay, everything seems to be at the right height. Again, we've dragged it up, so clearly rail grid isn't going to work. Dragged it up by a meter. Fine, that give me a smoother curve. Okay, those aren't at the right height. Starting to get pretty frustrating, to be honest. I think I've just dragged that up, haven't I? Dragged the train up, which has just ruined everything, because of course it has. I only meant to show you some custom railway signals. Would of course help if I selected the correct height transition. So let's try that. Okay, that's not working. Let's try and force the issue with a 6C. Okay, now if I drag through, that should work. No? No? Why is it not working? If it's not working, we're going to need some of the old transitions. And, oh, an elevated starter piece, but there don't seem to be any elevated height or fixed height transitions anymore. Yes, by destroying the railway line I did manage to destroy the whole blooming bridge. So now we're just going to attempt to build the bridge on its own and then build the railway underneath it. See if that works. Nope. Not working at all, which I don't understand. Surely it's supported. Surely level 2 OHW6C is supported. I've always been able to make 15-metre bridges. So either this is broken or there's an issue with the NAM. Or it's just not working in this case. Let me just see if there's a fixed transition from L0 to L2 OHW6C. Doesn't seem to be one anymore. No, it's not working at all, is it? Auto connect letting me down there. Yeah, so at this point it's quite clear that the bridge isn't going to work, so what we're going to have to do instead is just fill in this cutting and build a train tunnel. So we're going to tunnel under the motorway. So let's just fill in the gap with railway. Okay, that's not going to work. Railroad isn't going to work, so we're just going to have to use L grade instead. I'm just flattening the terrain ready for the RHW curve. So that's that curve done. I'm just going to smoothen it a bit more because I think we can do it a bit better. That's more like it. And now we've built the tunnel, let's just drag the terrain down with it and ruined everything. So we're going to need an extra tile. So let's just rebuild that very quickly. Put in some extra flattening where the tunnel is. And that should work. That just made our L rail disappear for some reason. And our tunnel. So that can all go, and we can now just drag the RHW into place. Oh god. Look at that transition from to slope on the right hand side. It's a pretty jerky and horrible transition, and the first one's really nice, the second one is just not good enough, so we need to do better. So, technique I like to use is just to flatten the whole thing, as you can see here. She'd gone one tile too far, I think. And flatten right at the last second. And then when we drag the L rail, that should create a nice smooth transition. There you go, that works rather well, I think. Okay, and I've just realised that's not actually a good place to place an MMP signal because the signal would be floating. So all that was really for nothing, but at least now we're up to NAM standard. So just crossing up that tile, and I've just realised as I placed that that was a terrible idea, because it's going to make it a bit difficult for us to place our MMP signal. So these rail signals are scratch built, as I like to call it, in the BAT by yours truly. It'll be made available on the sticks once I've built a few more signals. So I can't place it when there's grass in the way, which is why it was a bad idea to put the grass down. So yeah, that should complement. So there you go, you can see my 4-aspect mainline signal. Looks pretty good, I think. And down here, we're just going to place a feather indicator for the upcoming junction after the station. Probably not in the best of places, and I may change it later, but we'll see. But so yeah, another good thing about them though is they finally managed to put the level crossings on the right hand side, or the left hand side more accurately, which is very important because that was one of my biggest bugbears of the last NAM. The crossing stop lines were on the wrong side for left hand drive, but they fixed that now, so well done NAM team. Just get your RHW6C bridges to work correctly. Okay, so now we're just bringing this road junction up to current NAM standards. couple of transition pieces. There. It doesn't seem to be a one tile transition to have turn lanes from one side of the road to the other. So that's what we're gonna have. So instead, we're gonna have to do that. Fill this in with the road tool. I need to remind myself how to make slip lanes. Not like that. So drag the one-way road in to make the slip lane, and there's a couple of issues here. The giveaway signs are on the wrong side. The intersection is buggered, and as you can see from the draw paths, it looks like we're missing a few paths on that particular piece, the median to slip lane. So either I'm doing something wrong, or there are some missing paths in that piece. So just looking for the quick turns to figure out some alternatives. So that works, but for some reason it reverts to the road intersection piece, and I don't quite understand why. So yeah, if I delete the slip lane, everything works correctly, so not quite sure what's going on. Starting to feel like I might be doing something wrong. So I need to check the NAM documentation, make sure I'm not doing something wrong, but I'll do that off camera. Let's try street instead. No, that's not working either. Obviously got some... so I have to check the documentation, make sure I'm doing it right. If I'm not doing it right, it's probably... if I'm not doing it right, then I'm not doing it right. But if I am doing it right, and I think I'm doing it right, then it's probably a missing path issue with that median to slip lane piece, and we'll have to go on SimCity 4 Devotion and report it. Also seems to be an issue with this intersection piece here. So yeah, even if I leave some extra room, it doesn't seem to work, which is pretty annoying. Yeah, so if I place the flat T-junction piece, that works. Might just have to stick with it. Yeah, for some reason the arrows aren't pointing that way. Oh, that works. So the standard turn lanes work fine, it seems. Okay, so let's try something a bit different. Let's just see if it's a case of us not having enough room. See, that doesn't work, but we've established that. Oh, need to be careful though, because we're running into the FAR curve. So yeah, let's just give ourselves a bit of extra room and see if that solves the problem. 2 tiles should be enough. Okay, so if I make it a regular 4-way junction, it works fine. Which is kind of weird. Well, let's just leave it for now, and so we've got something that works, we can just turn that road into a street. So very quickly, let's just do the other junctions with the quick turn. These lovely quick turn flex pieces, which are very useful. And just do it in 2 seconds. Don't think there are any others. Okay, so I've gone on for long enough, so that will have to do for this episode. I was going to do the grass airstrip, but we ran out of time. Next video we're going to do some farms and some other fields. So thank you for watching. I've been Smiley MK, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye for now.